Let's review adding and subtracting with decimal numbers. For both adding and subtracting decimal numbers, the rules or the organization for these problems are really going to be the same type of organization that we used when we were adding or subtracting whole number values. We're going to start by lining up the decimals so that digits are lined up by place value. But we may also need to, in the course of our work, annex zeros in order to subtract correctly. That means on the right side of the decimal we may need to extend zeros past the digits that we already have. Or later on we may need to, in multiplication or division, you may see that we have to add zeros to the left side of our number on the whole number side of our decimal. So let's take a look at a couple of examples of adding decimals. We'll start with 14 and 7/10 plus 87 and 9/10. Now it's very important to remember to line up your decimals because that then allows you to line up the place values in your numbers. And we're going to start adding right to left just like we did with whole number values. We'll regroup as necessary. So we'll start with 7 plus 9, which gives us 16. We have a 6. We're going to regroup that 1 into the ones place, or that 10/10. We now have 12 in the ones, so we'll do a little regrouping, and then 10. And because our place values are lined up, we can just bring that decimal down so that it is appropriately placed in our sum. Second example, 54 and 5/10. Notice how I'm saying that number. I'm not saying 54.5, it's 54 and 5/10. By saying your numbers with place value, it allows you to better understand the value of that number in front of you. Now in this case we have a situation where we don't have the same number of digits that we have in both numbers. So where we have that space in 54 and 5/10, we're going to annex the 0. That means we're going to put that 0 in at the end of our number so that we can add appropriately. So now, don't want the highlighter. Now we can see that we have 0 plus 1, 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1, and then we have 13 in the ones place, so we'll carry a group of 10 to the tens, and then we have 10 between 1 plus 5 plus 4. Subtracting works in a similar manner. We're going to set up our problem by lining up the decimal, which then aligns the place values. And the rules for subtracting with decimals are the same as subtracting whole numbers. We have to subtract top digit minus bottom digit every time, which means that if we have some situations where we may have to do some regrouping. So let's start at the right. We'll have 7 minus 2, which gives us 5. But then in the 10th place, we have 6 minus 7. If you think about this as money, that's 6 dimes minus 7 dimes, which is not possible for us to do. So we're going to regroup a 1, or think a dollar. We'll regroup a dollar into dimes. So now instead of having 6 dimes, we have 16 dimes. 16 minus 7 would leave us with 9 dimes. So now we can come over to the ones place. So think $1 bills. We have 7 minus 8, which is not possible for us to do without breaking one of our tens into $1 bills. So now we have 17 minus 8, which is possible, and then 4 minus 2 in the tens place. Place your decimal in alignment with the decimals in your problem, and you are finished. All right, second example, we have $97, so that means we have the 97, and when we talk about whole number values, the decimal is always after the ones place, so it would be helpful to put that in at this time. Minus $16.98. So again, you can see we have a situation where we need to annex some zeros on the right side of the decimal. So we'll put a 0 in the 10ths place, which is basically saying you don't have any dimes at the moment, and a 0 in the 100ths place, which is saying you don't currently have any pennies. So really you just have $10 bills and $1 bills. You're going to subtract $16.98. We cannot do 0 minus 8 on the pennies, so we need to do some regrouping. We don't have any dimes to regroup with, so we have to reach all the way over to the ones. We'll take one of those dollar bills, break it into dimes, which will leave us with 10 dimes, but then we'll regroup that and leave 9 dimes and turn that 1 dime into 10 pennies. Okay, so that's the idea of regrouping. Now we can do our subtraction. We have 10 minus 8, which would leave us 2 in the hundredths, or 2 pennies. 9 minus 9, which would be 0. 6 minus 6 is 0. And then 9 minus 1 leaves us with the 8. And again, in subtraction, just like with addition, because the place values line up in our problem, the decimal will line up accordingly in our difference. Alright, here are just a couple of problems for you to practice on your own. Pause the video, try the addition and subtraction problems, and then check by restarting the video. Alright, with 66 and 5/10 plus 24 and 1/10, you should wind up with 6 in the 10ths place and 90 in your whole number value, so 90 and 6/10. With 52 and 1/10 minus 31 and 47 hundredths, we have to do a little annexing, so we'll put a 0 in that hundredths place. And then a little regrouping is in order, so we'll take the dime, break it into 10 pennies. Now we can do our subtraction. 10 minus 7 is 3. We need to regroup a $1 bill, so we'll break that 1 into 10 dimes. 10 minus 4 is 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. And 5 minus 3 is 2. Please make sure you have the directions at the beginning of the video in your notes, as well as all of the examples, and bring your questions with you to class. Thank you.